All right, if everyone will stand, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll call to order the Morgan Township Trustee Meeting, February 28th, 2022, 7 p.m. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll approve the minutes for February 14, 2022.
Second.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the warrants?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment listing date 2/15/2022 to 2/28/2022. Warrant number 110-2022 through 144-2022. Payment 11207 through 11225 for a total of $54,059.62.
Second.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, tonight we have Susan Ellerhorst from Butler County Community Development Administrator. She'd like to come in and talk to us and find a little bit more about the history and where Morgan Township's headed. Is that correct? Just if you would step up, state your name and...
Hi, I'm Susan Ellerhorst with Butler County Community Development, and I just wanted to learn a little bit more about your township. I'm going out and meeting with all of the organizations in Butler County to learn a little bit more about how they operate, what their goals are, and maybe what their issues are that we may be able to help with. I also wanted to let all of our townships and communities know that we do have some programs if they're not aware of them. We do have,
Could you give us a
yeah,
little overview of it?
yeah.
Thank you.
Let me give you the flyer. Pass these around. This is, this program is part of the U.S. Treasury's funding for emergency rental assistance and utility payments.
Okay.
So last year, in I think August of 2021, Butler County was awarded $11 million to help with rental and utility assistance. And then just in January of this year, we've already went through $9 million of that.
Wow.
And so we were awarded another $9 million to help residents that do need rental assistance due to COVID circumstances, and we help with utilities too. And the program that's, the organization that's helping us with that program is called SELF. I do have a card. I don't know if you've received some of these before,
Don't know if we...
but it's on that flyer. It's called Self-Help, and
Okay.
you can provide that to all of your residents if anyone's interested or needs help with that kind of assistance or knows someone in the county. It's county-wide, not just township-wide. Also, we have some other programs that we receive funding for through the CDGB grants. It's the Community Development Block Grants and the home funding. The first program is emergency home repair, and that will allow residents in the county to contact SELF, which is also our partner, to, if they're low to moderate income, they're able to get help with replacement of HVAC, a roof, or plumbing, things like that. So it's emergency repair. And then there's also a demo program where if there's properties in your township that may qualify under certain guidelines, we can help with demo of that property. Also, we have a new home construction. If an area is looking for Habitat for Humanity projects, we are funding those. And then down payment assistance programs. We have been working with NHS, which is neighbor, let's see, what is their name? Sorry. Neighborhood Housing Services of Hamilton. They help with down payment assistance. So again, if you know someone who needs help with down payment assistance to purchase a home, they do help with that. And I do have cards for all of you on that too.
Okay.
And I'm up here if you have any questions, I'll try to answer those. I am brand new to the county, so I'm just trying to get the word out about all these programs if they have not been publicized in your area.
Susan,
Yes.
how different is your demolition program in regards to the Butler County Revitalization Program and the land bank?
So they're separate. Ours is going to probably be more for low to moderate income areas.
Okay.
And so if there's a property owner who is on a fixed income and needs a garage torn down, they would probably qualify. If it's something to take down a commercial building, that's probably not gonna qualify.
Right, that's, I was just wanting to know the
Yeah.
difference because I've got several properties in mind
Okay.
and everything too, so.
Sure.
But do you work through with the homeowner or do you work through, say, zoning in that respect? I mean,
We're working currently with zoning, but you would contact our office and then we would set you up with the right contacts.
okay,
Okay. And then I have business cards. If you would have any questions and I'm no longer here at the meeting or, in the future, we're also working with the commissioners right now. They're reviewing all of the CDGB applications from 2022. And I know that you guys had one on the
We've been
agenda.
talking, we've been
Yes.
talking the last week.
Trying to make sure I've got all the information in case there's questions. So, and they are reviewing those currently, and hopefully they'll be making a decision in the next few weeks. So,
Susan, did you get my last email today, the little narrative part?
I did.
Okay, and I think part of that question was, is there an open session where the trustees or myself can come and give any more when that committee reviews those, or is that a closed committee?
all of the meetings are open. I'm not sure when it's gonna be back on the agenda. We
Okay.
just discussed them today. I just read off the list of all the projects for the
Okay.
commissioners, but there was no discussion. It was just advertising what was provided as
Okay.
projects. Any other
Okay.
questions?
And I take it you took the place of Desmond?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
okay,
That-
that
Now
makes
in the right,
sense.
right spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I
Yes,
understand where you're
Desmond
coming
went to
from.
Claremont
I
County.
should have said that when I introduced you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She did tell me that, but
Yes, Desmond went to Claremont County, and I'm from Claremont County. I came here. So
Oh, really?
Just swap places. okay.
Interesting.
we weren't doing the same positions, but yeah.
Okay, very good, thank you.
all right,
Any-
what we'll do is we have a township website. We also have a township Facebook. We can get this information out
Great.
on there.
I appreciate that.
See, it's,
The more we can use that money, we don't have to send it back. So
Right.
we want to make sure we use it. Okay.
sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Thank you.
coming. All right, anybody else from the audience have anything? All right, if not, Chief Galloway, Township Administrator Report.
All right, first of all, in your package, you'll have the administrator report. Couple of new items here under number 1, the American Rescue Plan. If you go down to the darker bold, you'll see EMS billing 2020 for the year 2020. If you remember, the U.S. Treasury went from 4.2% up to 5.1%. So this is the adjustment rate, the increase that goes back into the EMS billing fund of $331.16. The next one is we just calculated as we finalized from 2021 the expenses and the lost revenue. And at 5.1%, you'll have that in your packet. You'll see the med account, the two forms that look like this. You'll see one that says 2020, that's got the calculations, and you'll see the second one that says 2021. The lost revenue for 2021 at 5.1% was $13,863.58 out of the EMS billing, where Chief Griffith went back and did all the pro rates per the U.S. Treasury. So that is available under the guidelines for lost revenue to go back into the EMS billing account. The next is the community center, 2020 and 2021. The bump up from 4.2 to 5.1% is $259.89. And then the last one is the board had asked, and Tina had asked, that we get a legal opinion on the road repairs and the crack sealing project that's out there for $12,000. That was approved by the law firm, Tanya Rogers. That is allowable under road repairs and road surfaces, which is an allowable expense. So if those additional payments are approved by the trustees, it would take the remaining of the first allotment from $168.41 down to $161,713.78.
I'm okay with it. Anybody have any discussion?
How much is it total? That we've used it?
It'll be that, it'll be 161
If
out of
we
the
approve
306.
if we approve the additional lost revenues of the EMS billing for 2021, and then the crack sealing and road repairs of $12,000.
None of these have been approved yet? We haven't approved any of these?
We approved the 4 point,
You approved the 4.2%,
4.2%,
but then the U.S. Treasury upped it to 5.1. So on those, you approved the first one and the third one. You have not approved the second or the fourth one. You've not approved the billing for 21 or the road repairs and the crack sealing yet. Those are new to tonight's meeting.
let's see here, we got, that leaves 468.
So if you do that, so if you go down and look at the yellow, that would adjust when the additional $306,000 comes in. That would leave an estimated $468,005.88 when you have what's left of this allotment, and then the additional $306,292.
61,000 will officially be spent once we approve it, correct?
No, that's what's remaining.
That's what's remaining. You've already, if you look up here, the second set of bunker gear, all that stuff's already been approved. It's the highlighted black, the 4 items there, Daryl, and that adjusts down to what's left of the first allotment of the $161,000.
Okay.
After you do those two, this is
So
what's
with
left of the first
this, if it's approved, the
And then-
161,713,
Well,
and then the
when we get the
306,292,
second chunk, this is
our
how
second
much we have
allotment,
left.
we would give us $468,005. We've
That
already
is
committed
correct.
$220,000 for the pavement of Race Lane.
And that's not out of that,
Right,
correct?
we have to take that out.
Yep.
So that leaves us $248,005. And then we got, I guess you'll talk about it, but we got some not so happy news from ODOT.
Yes,
You will
that's on
cover
the
that.
agenda.
All right, so we will have $248,005 left after our second allotment. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. If the board approves the lost revenue of the EMS billing for 2021, the 13,863 and 58 cents, I probably need a motion for that, because that'll go to Tina for that out of the APR fund.
How's that billing account right now? Is it healthy or are we hurt?
I haven't seen the newest number. What's it got?
It
Chief?
is, as of today, it's 81,527 and 15 cents.
So can we put that on the wish list? And then, once we see that we have money available, we will, I mean, we're not hurting, the 13,000 is not gonna make it any more healthy. I mean, seems like it's pretty, $80,000 in it.
That's about its average, I believe, of what it runs
Right.
about this time of the year.
That's
so
kind of where it lives at.
So-
It lives in about that
So-
80 to 84,000 range,
So
so.
if we
And-
hold off on the approving the 2021 EMS billing, keep it on the list, once we get these other projects funded that we have to do.
If the
then
trustees are good
'cause
with that,
all we're
it's
doing
fine.
is basically putting it out of one pocket into another.
Yep, yep.
And if we got money left at the end, we can do that. I mean, we can always go back in 2024 and reimburse us for 2021.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
okay.
through the end of
You guys
'24.
okay with that? Instead of committing it right now?
Okay, that's fine. I'm assuming you're good with the difference in the
Yeah.
other two
Those are
percentages.
so
Those are
small.
little.
That's like $550,
Yeah, yeah.
$580.
And then your last one is, for discussion, is the 12,000 for the road repairs, crack sealing, and that you had asked me to check in with the law firm on. That would be for discussion for the three of you as well.
Again, I would say let's put that on hold. I mean, keep it on the list. And then if, our road and bridge fund gets tight, we can put it in there. I'd rather not commit it right now, and then we got to do Morgan Ross Road and we don't have enough money.
I was
You see
gonna
what
say,
I'm saying?
I'm fine with that, of keeping that 12,000 out of that, because I would rather see it go towards the paving projects
Right.
someplace, so.
I mean, keep it there, and then if we have money toward the end, we can always throw it in there.
Yep, that's fine.
You guys good with that? Yeah. You good with that? So all we'll do basically is approve the additional from 4.2 to 5.1 for the 2020 EMS billing and the 2021 community center lost revenue, which is
Okay.
$590.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve those two.
Do those need to be separate, Tina? Separate resolutions?
Which two?
The EMS billing for 2020, which was $331.16, and the community center lost revenue for 2020 and 2021 for $259.89. We've already approved it at the 4.2, we're just basically taking it up to the 5.1.
I'll go with that. All right.
So you second that?
I'll second.
Oh, okay.
You made the motion.
I made the motion, yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
Brucker,
Who's making those?
All right.
Mr. Kolb,
Yes.
Mr. Huff.
Yes.
Motion approved.
okay. If you go down to the bottom, we have the additional items. So number 2, as you spoke of this afternoon, I got an email from ODOT. Dear applicant, the Ohio Department of Transportation regrets to inform you that your application has not been selected for funding for the Township Stimulus Program. The department received 1,182 applications requesting a total of $138 million from 647 townships for road projects. With this unprecedented number of applications, the limited funding available, your application did not rank highly enough as those that were awarded similar type projects. So that was the road, that was the Morgan Ross Road project that we had wrote for. Rob and I discussed this afternoon, thought it was a really good grant that was written and a lot of justification, so I'm not sure where we missed out on that, but I know some other surrounding townships did not get theirs either, so.
So should we take that under the potential road department projects and add, maybe say road paving, 220,000, we've got that earmarked, so that's gotta be bolded or something. We've already spoke for that money,
Where's Lane?
for Race Lane. And then put another one, road paving project, 210,000 for Morgan Ross. You okay with doing that? What is that, what exactly is that covering on Morgan Ross? It's take, Ross Township, Rob, and us, and
Is it
Morgan
one
Township
road?
split it?
Yeah.
So-
No, that was,
No, I mean, we take the northern half and they take the southern half, is that how?
that's correct, but the section that we was gonna pave is only like a half of the northern half.
So
Yeah,
how
it's
far
not
does it go from like Madman's to,
Basically, it goes from Lehigh Road, that the whole section between Lehigh and 748, and then crosses over 748 and goes down to the township line, which is just north of where Madman's junkyard used to be.
okay.
Okay, but is that all one piece? You said it in two pieces. Is it two pieces or one?
Well, it's two pieces, but it's one project.
Okay.
It's the
From-
section between Lehigh and 748 is one piece,
Okay.
and then the second piece is from 748 down to,
About half the hill or something?
well, to where Harvey Fangman actually lived. At his northern edge of his property is where the line is.
Okay.
That's where it goes to. But that,
Second.
it's in two sections, but that's one project.
But the two sections is 210,000, is what they estimated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was 211. Let me look up to make sure of that.
Yeah, and change.
So we need to add that on the wish list, because that's.
Yep. Yep. That's on there.
You looking for it?
I'm looking for it. Just
I didn't know if you
give me a
wanted to
second. I'm in there. There's so many different things from Eric Ziegler who gave me all my numbers.
So as Rob is doing that,
Keep going.
while Susan is here,
Oh.
hopefully our new best friend. So I will say that the many years, both in EMA and now with the township, writing CDBG grants, I think this was the first time I was asked for additional information. So Susan and I have been going back and forth as of last Thursday or Friday. She'd asked for pictures of the road, the actual quote from the engineer's office on Race Lane. Sent today some information that road hasn't been paved since 1995, and some additional information. So that's kind of why we've been going back and forth, and I questioned her, is there anything that we need to come in here and help sell that project as well?
What was that
from
grant
our end.
amount request?
That was 220,000, I believe, is the 221, I think is what it was.
So-
And we were paying, I think it was 75-25, or we were contributing, I wrote so many grants, I don't remember which percentage we allotted for this one, but we are kicking in somewhere, 10% of the project or something like that
So
ourselves.
if we get that, then that comes off of, coming out of the ARP fund.
The CDBG,
If we get,
No.
if we get the block grant.
if we get the block grant for Race Lane,
That will be Race Lane, that we've already allocated 220,000. That
right,
will
if
come
we don't
off.
get that
We
grant.
won't have to spend.
Right,
okay.
if we don't get
I just
that
wanna make
grant,
sure
we could use that for Morgan Ross now that we didn't get the ODOT grant. So,
So yes, the commissioners are reviewing those projects right now, and I'll let you know when the next meeting is, where we'll be reviewing those again.
that'd be great that'd be great, because if it's an open meeting, I'd be glad to
Yeah.
come down and sit there, and if they have any other questions or insight, or one of the trustees, or all three, or how many, we can give some insight to it as well.
The only other question I would have had was, do you have a traffic count?
That'd be a Rob in the engineer's office.
I can
We
get
can
that.
get that.
I don't have it readily in my office, but
I'm just trying to gather
That's
as
a-
much information as
sure.
I can in case they have questions.
Sure.
I want to try to be able to answer.
That's a heavily used road for Morgan Township down into Hamilton County,
Sure.
for folks that work in Cincinnati and downtown. So it is a heavily used road, and we can,
It
and
was
Rob
tore,
can get that.
it was tore up from the construction,
I'm-
the trucks.
once I give my report, I think I can possibly get on the engineer's site and get those numbers. And might be able to get it to you yet tonight, because I do know that they keep traffic count numbers on their website. It's just if I can find it.
Yeah.
And then,
If not, you've got my card.
right,
Just email it to her
and
tomorrow.
I can have it to you probably by noon tomorrow. I know I can get it, so.
Along with your map. We already got the map, I just gotta email it to you tomorrow.
Damage was not all the traffic, but what kind of, the big heavy trucks that was going through there, correct?
No, you can't,
Yeah,
it
you
won't
can't.
say that. It just says the
I know,
amount of
but
traffic.
I wish we could elaborate on
Yeah,
that.
the price for Morgan Ross Road is $211,417.56 was the estimate for Morgan Ross.
Say that again,
$211,417.56.
Okay. All right.
Now, just for a real quick thing before Susan takes off here, is she has is on the, per the county engineer's office, we went ahead and specified money for Morgan Ross because even though we put money towards that, we were still eligible to get the CDBG grant. But if we'd have put that money towards Morgan Ross, which having the stimulus money, we would not have been able to get the stimulus. However, we're not getting it now, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, Morgan Ross is a little, as far as my rankings, is higher up than what Race Lane is. But, I mean, they both need to be done because those are the two most critical roads in the township as far as the ratings of the pavement and where it's at and how long it's been since anything's been done with them, so.
Okay. We will be starting to work on the application. That's going to go out probably August for 23. So that would be the time frame. We'll start in August.
Okay.
And they'll probably be due November. So you want to start working on that?
I might start working on a
Okay.
good narrative.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
thanks, Susan,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you, Susan.
All right, go ahead,
Okay,
continue on.
all right. Next is number 3. I know Tina forwarded to you the renewal. May is the renewal for the health insurance for the township employees. You have the letter in your packet from Frank. The average chamber plans have gone up 10 to 12% this year. The townships is going up 7.9%. And that is due in May. The entire policies, I think Tina, like I said, emailed to you to take a look at. That'll be up to the trustees to renew that prior to the May 1st deadline. And I'm just passing that information on. Tina got most of it directly from Frank, who deals mostly with Tina, but it was on my agenda tonight. So it's there to take a look at, and then the policies and the coverage that was sent to you. Last on the agenda for the administrator's report, and I see I'm taking Tom's thing again, but I did get the change, and it's in your packet for the Butler County Engineers Annual Township Seminar. If you'll let me know by the 17th if you're going or not, I'll send a master copy into Paula Burton. So
Thank
it's
you.
the 24th of March this time, the new date.
Yeah, it was the 10th, but they had a conflict.
Yeah.
So,
So Rob was out, okay.
I won't be able to make that.
Yeah, if you just let me know prior to the 17th, I'll send that to Paula with the official folks.
the
It's the
24th.
24th, it's right here under date change.
March 24th.
It's in the packet. Okay, questions? All right.
Good.
All right, good.
Fire department and EMS.
Fire department. First, you have in your packet a letter. I need a motion to accept the resignation of firefighter paramedic David Derbyshire effective 1/17/22.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brooker?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Motion approved.
125? 025, thank you. And the only other thing I got tonight is we set today the tentative date for the open house, now that COVID is pretty much gone and scaled way back, for September 17th of 2022. September 17th, that's a Saturday. That leads us right into our normal time that we do it every year.
So you're going to need anything? Or are you just too early to?
Well,
And then
usually
the
the
trustees-
planning starts out about 4 months ahead.
Okay.
So again,
June is
obviously,
July.
worker bees, we go out and get all the donations for the bikes and the prizes and all that, and then help cooking, emceeing, all that kind of stuff for sure. So yes,
All right.
It was just decided today, so I'm sure a list will be coming out soon
Okay.
of what all the stuff that we'll need and the folks
Let us
that we'll
know
need,
what you
so.
need.
Yep. She's going to do the COVID report, and I just have, tonight I have an executive session for, consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or officials for tonight.
Okay.
And that's all I've got, Chief. It's all yours.
Okay, it's number 104. So hopefully, I'm going to give one in 2 weeks. That'll be the 2-year anniversary, and we'll be done with COVID reports, at least till the next variant of the day. The numbers are very, very good. They're dropping. They continue to drop. This is the first time we've dropped less than 100 cases per 100,000. So that takes our spread to substantial from high. So, and I don't know if you all saw WCPO did a piece about 45053 last week. We had no cases. We were the only time in the history of this whole thing there was no cases. Did we really have no cases? No, but we had no cases that were tested by PCR from a lab. I'm sure there were home tests that were positive, but you know that's the idea. But they came out and did a whole thing at the Country Barrel. They put it on the news and interviewed people. But it's the first time in 2 years that an entity had no cases, so they thought that was a big deal. So they continue to drop. You know, before we were talking about a 30% rate, not 6 weeks ago, and now it's down to 7.6. And 45053 only had 2 cases this week. So in the last month, in the last 2 weeks, we've only had 2 cases. That's not bad. So it continues to drop. Hospitalizations continue to go down. The CDC has formed a new way to determine there was huge mass changes as of Friday. You can go on the CDC's website, put in the county you want to visit, and it'll tell you if it's high, substantial, or none. If you need to wear a mask. Right now, masking only required for people with high immunosuppression and issues that might cause COVID, but that's it. Ross schools stopped as of tomorrow. The buses no longer need, kids don't have to wear masks on the buses anymore as of tomorrow. That was part of the changes. So they haven't been wearing them in school for a while, but buses that are owned by entities besides under federal carrier regulations can get rid of masks tomorrow. So it's winding down. Hopefully it stays wound down, but that's all I have unless you have questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, Rob, Road Department?
First thing I have is the county engineer's office had requested us what we was anticipating wanting to put on the salt contract for 2022-2023 winter season. I know we're not finished with this winter yet, but we're already talking about next winter for salt contract. In my recommendation, we've always went with 650 ton. We haven't used that in quite some time. So I'm saying that we will fill the shed on this year's contract. We'll fill it back up. I'm thinking it's probably going to take about 200 ton to fill it back up. So that'll be 300 ton we've used as long as we don't have to go out anymore, which is not looking like we're going to have to do much the next couple weeks. So I'm suggesting that we go with, tell them 500 tons for next year to put us down for 500 tons. Does not mean we have to use it, but put that down. So if you guys are all right with,
Did they get a price yet or not?
no,
No.
this is
This is
so they
just
can
to-
put it out for bids.
Okay.
So they can say we're planning
So-
to use so many hundreds of tons or whatever.
So if we put 500 tons, it says we don't have to buy that much. But if we
Right.
need more than 500 tons, let's say it's a really super bad winter, can we get more than that at
You
that
can
rate?
get more than that,
But not at that rate.
most likely not at that rate.
So are we hurting ourselves by cutting it? Should we stay at 650? We're not obligated. It gives us that edge if we need it.
It's just,
No place to keep it?
we
Well, we don't have to buy it.
we don't have to buy it, but I mean,
Oh.
if we say that we put a 650 ton, that is a bigger insurance policy. It just, I was just looking at that would free up a little bit of money for crack sealing or something like that, but
Well, we're not, what do you mean free it up? We have to keep that money in put aside?
well,
To pay for
when
that
we do
much?
do our yearly budget, we budget for 650 tons of salt.
Right.
So you got to keep that available in
Okay.
case you do have to buy it. So
Right.
I mean, it's not
Historically, though, we've never bought that much.
Yeah.
I mean,
not
recently.
Not recently. I
Yeah.
mean, there was a year where we bought 950 ton of salt, but we had 3 ice storms that winter and just snow after snow after snow, but we haven't had that for quite some time.
What do you guys think? Lower it and take the chance, or keep the cushion and?
650 and use it if we need it, if not,
That's fine.
I like the idea of keeping it back.
Darryl, what's your thought on that?
I just said, I like Rob's idea of keeping it back for the crack ceiling, you know, we know we'd have that money there for that. And then again, like you say, you're taking a chance,
Well, what's the difference? So if I got this right, if we need to buy it, if we're running short and we buy it, we still get the discount price. If we decide, and it ends up we only need 500 tons, then we have no obligation to escrow additional money into an account that we can't use somewhere else.
Right. I mean,
So that's-
that's exactly right. So, I mean, I was just trying to keep, maybe I'm trying to do more than what I should be, but I was just trying to, put some, where we had money available to do crack sealing, whatever, so we could
that's
put
what you
money
said,
towards
you
otherwhere.
know. That when we figure out our budget, we might not have that 150
But
tons.
that is the thing is, on average, 650 tons is what we usually use for a winter. Now, we haven't used that the last couple winters, but we've had very mild winters. Now, what I base that 650 tons on is over the last 30 years, and that's how long I've been here, on average, 650 tons is what we've used on a year's time. The last 3 to 4 years, we have not used that much.
How much discount could we get if we get into the program versus we just buy it on the market?
Oh,
Yeah,
like this year was 76 ton. If you bought on the market, not be on any program, you're going to be well over $100 a ton. Like $115 to $120 a ton is what some municipalities have paid that weren't on any contract.
So you'd be about $15,000. You'd be 100.
How much would you save on the 150 ton if we didn't take the 650 and took the 500? There was 150 ton left over. So when we budgeted it out, how much would we save? Or be able to.
Well, we don't know what it's gonna cost, but it was
Well,
76.
Yeah,
This
okay,
year,
taking
this
this
year was
year.
$76 a ton.
Right.
So
Okay.
We'll say $80
$80.
a ton. Well,
Oh,
it's gonna
okay.
go up.
Yeah, that's right.
$1,400?
Be about 12,000. Well, no, 11,400. Yeah.
So that's what you could be looking at spending above and beyond getting into the program.
Right.
Is that the amount we sort of needed for the crack ceiling? Yeah, it was 12,000.
But we'd still have it. We wouldn't have to.
Maybe not. I don't know, like I say, how close our budget's gonna run, where we're gonna run it,
We can keep that in mind when we do the budget, that we could potentially have $11,000 that we're not gonna spend on salt, and
And to be quite honest, that's one of the reasons why we've always left it at 650 tons, because 650 tons is $49,000 is what you're budgeting. 500 tons is $38,000. So there's your difference.
about 11,000.
About $11,000. I was, but if you budget for 650, you're budgeting $49,000. But if you don't use it, you're going to have that 11,000 or even a little more
Right.
left over if we don't use it. I mean, and I guess I do see that it would be better to do that, because if we have to buy that extra 100 ton, that's 11,000. You're
We'll
going to
spend
be
way more than
way more than that
11,000.
$11,000 to buy that,
at
That-
premium price.
right, that extra 150 tons.
Yeah, just go to 650 then, right?
Okay.
I was just willing to roll the dice here, but that's probably is the better thing to do. So.
Okay.
And then The second thing is working with the county on getting all of our culvert projects that we've already approved doing. The one in particular is the dead end of Chapel Road. They've got just about got all the work agreements worked out with the property owners. We've got to build a road around the existing pipe there, so when they dig it out, people can still get in and out of their homes, because that's the dead end of Chapel Road. So we've got to build a temporary road around it. It's right there at Jay Luce's property where his fence starts and stuff, where his livestock is, in that ditch line there. And Jay lives on the right going back, and his brother owns on the left. Actually, I think they own it together, but in any case, getting started on that one. That's probably going to go about the end of April is when they're going to do that one. So we'll have, and the county engineer's office will do a letter drop to everybody back there stating what's going on and what's going to happen and stuff. And there might be an additional cost to that, but we'll have to wait and see once all the agreements are done up. Those additional costs might be with fencing that has to be replaced when
There's livestock on that left side.
on the right side.
Right.
Where this culvert is, there's livestock on the right side, and they're gonna have to take some of that fence out, so.
And that's not county, it's not gonna replace that fence. That would be on us, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, they can get the contractors in there to do it, and they'll do that, but that's
That would be our
our
expense.
cost.
Okay.
But I don't know what that's gonna be yet, so.
Okay.
And then the last thing is we're going through all the mowers for roadside mowing and cemetery mowing and around here, getting ready for the upcoming seasons. That's all I have.
All right,
Thank you. Dale?
okay. As you'll see on your summary sheet there's 3 new certificates. They're in yellow, just to let you know which ones they are. But you have all the new certificates that were granted for the whole year so far. There were 2 for an accessory structure, and then 1 for an 880 square foot addition to the current home. I also have 2 more that are in the works. One is for a 2,700 square foot addition to a new home on Bell Road, okay? But I'm waiting for the application to come in. I've got the plans and everything else sitting in there on my desk, but the application hasn't come in. I have no,
Yeah.
yes,
On that accessory structure there that you've got listed down there, what kind of permit does it take, and how much is a permit like that cost?
well, that
People have
depends.
asked me.
It depends upon
size?
the square footage.
Yeah.
If it's over 500 square feet, for an accessory structure over 500 square feet, it's $200. For anything less than 500 square feet, it's $100. Okay. Any other questions, Daryl?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Violations, Ted's been in training, and at this time I have no new information. I did send a letter email to him asking if he had anything to state or anything new. We will be discussing that perhaps a little later when I get a hold of him. Number 3, the BZA hearing was held last Thursday. Shandon in between storage was granted an area variance on the required 25 feet front yard setback. The setback was reduced to 20 feet, and Shandon in between storage intends to build a 30 by 150 foot public storage building on the property at 6228 Cincinnati Brookville Road. However, they will be clearing the property first, then getting the property surveyed and plans drawn, and will need to present a comprehensive plan, a plat plan, to the Morgan Township Zoning Commission for approval. The BZA then will not meet until a new variance request is received. The Zoning Commission will meet this Wednesday, March the 2nd, 2022 at 7 p.m. in the Administration Building. We're going to be looking at what's necessary for the B3 district and get familiar with that as we await the plans from this Shandon in-between storage. The Land Use Committee is now in the process of obtaining public input into the goals and objectives. And this week I'm focused on getting another Survey Monkey out and everything else, and hope to have it out by Friday. You will see it in your emails. Those of you who have, I've always responded to or have sent them out to you. It will also be placed on, we have something like 100 or so email addresses from the first survey that we did back in June and everything else. So they will receive it in their emails, and then we'll also be putting it on Facebook and on Nextdoor. Okay, real easy to do. It's just a matter of getting them all set up and out. And then we hopefully then will be holding, once we get the results back, our March meeting will cover those results and talk about them, make any plans, and then we are looking to have an open public input here in the building in April for our April meeting. I didn't put that in my report, but that's what it should be the land bank, not the land back. Okay, I submitted the application to the land bank for 6193 Cincinnati Brookville. The application was not considered for the first round of dispersal, but will be held and possibly submitted in the second round. Again, just to refresh your mind, that is the building that has the MGB sitting in front of it down in Okeana. Okay, we have had the hardest time trying to find the owners, or at least getting in touch with them. We have sent many, many letters and everything else. Are there any questions for me tonight?
Just curious, did you by any chance Ross Township had a zoning meeting Thursday, and I was wondering, I forgot about it.
I couldn't attend that, Daryl, because I had the land bank, the land use committee meeting the same night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
curious.
have supplied information to them, and Tina and I are working on other information that they've asked for in terms of public records on the expenses
Do
that
they have a board, some kind of a board or something?
they have a commission that is already in place, from what I understand. Okay, they had to have the zoning commission in place because they have to write. They've had to write the regulations. Okay, that's the process. The Board of Trustees voted and approved it, and then they went and got the people for the zoning commission, and they've been writing it over the past year. They have the intention of hopefully putting it on the ballot in November for the public.
Have you seen it? mean,
I have not
does
seen
it
it.
mirror ours, or?
It may, because they've asked for ours. They've looked at Butler County Rural, which was where ours was based, except for the changes that have been made over the years.
Yeah.
I feel that they will come up with a fairly one, but it is focused again on Ross and Ross only. Okay, and I have not seen it.
Okay.
All right,
That's all, I was just curious. if
no
you-
problem. Yeah, I've tried to keep up with them and tried to get down to the meetings, but it's been in conflict with some meeting that I've had to. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I understand.
And
Yeah, I wasn't requiring you to do that.
No.
I was curious
No,
what-
I mean, this whole thing started out with two people who were residents of Ross Township about 2 years ago, who came to my office and sat down with me and said, Dale, what do we need to do in order to get zoning in Ross? So I've been involved in it in some form or fashion for over 2
Well,
years.
it affects us, it affects more than township also.
Sure it does.
Our school system and, plus property owners,
Oh,
Our
sure.
relatives all live in Ross, so.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. All
Yeah.
right, Go ahead.
All
Okay.
right, Tina, fiscal
Okay.
officer report.
Alrighty, I need the trustees to approve a resolution to approve the permanent appropriation budget for 2022 to be submitted to the Butler County Auditor's Office with the total carryover balance available for appropriation of $2,194,325.43, and a total amount from all sources available for expenditures of $2,037,318.99 for total amount available plus balances of $4,231,644.42. And then the funds, fund name, and listing amounts are listed on what I gave you that come to that total.
So this includes what's,
This is every penny you have.
this is everything,
This is
including the
every-
American Rescue Plan money.
This is every penny you
that
have.
we
Yep,
have
there
not
it is.
spent to date.
American Rescue
Got it.
Plan.
I see it.
Well, what has not been
I was gonna say,
appropriated
not
for
the
it,
other part
yes.
hasn't. So that would
No,
count for next
no,
year?
no, no. This is everything you will be getting this year, estimated. Yes.
Estimated.
Well,
Because we
yeah,
don't-
but it's a pretty good estimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we won't approve, that's right?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the permanent appropriation budget for 2022 as submitted.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved. And also, just for information, with the budget exceeding $3,500,000, the trustees and fiscal officer will be paid at the next tier starting in March.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that. I thought they just started at the beginning of the year, but they can start at any month.
I asked legal services, and they told me to start it after the permanent budget was known.
Well, they never did that before, I
Oh.
don't think. I think.
Well,
I'm glad they
that's
are.
what they told me, and,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that all you have?
That's it.
All right.
That's a good one.
Okay, and the chief has asked for executive session. Mr. Kolb and Mr. Huff want executive session, so we will break for executive session. I'll make a motion to go to executive session at 7:53 PM. What is yours? You want to read yours?
It's the same as the,
Okay.
Okay.
same as the chief, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
Is that what yours is for too, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, you guys are the same.
Okay.
You guys are, all
Okay.
right,
Okay, Mr. Brucker?
we didn't get a second yet.
Oh, Mr. Huff seconded it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay,
he did.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb? Motion approved.
All right, we are adjourned to executive session.
7:53.
He was talking about the meeting that was, Butler County,
Nice knowing you. Okay.
I will be so glad to not be doing this anymore. I can't handle it no more.
Ready, Daryl?
It was pretty good, let me tell you.
All right, I'll make a motion at 9:14 PM to come out of executive session.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right. What we talked about back in executive session, I've got 2 resolutions to propose to the board for approval. One is to implement a $2 an hour raise across the board to all current fire department members and new hires effective 4/1/2022. And the reason we're doing this is because we're losing personnel. Other departments are taking our people people are working at multiple departments part-time, and some of the departments are now creating full-time positions and attracting them to go there. So our staffing level is coming down. To stay competitive, and we're still not at the top, we're not even close. This $2 an hour will help to hopefully retain some employees and maybe attract some other ones that want just a part-time job in addition to a full-time job that they have. But the full-time jobs are offering full-time pay, full health care, vacation, everything a full-time job has. There's no way we can't compete with that. So we're just trying to keep our head above water to be able to provide the services that we've been able to do, and our budget should be able to handle that without any impact. So I make a motion for that $2 across the board effective February 1st.
Second?
Mr. Cole, Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved. And that's going to be April 1st?
Effective the first pay period in April.
Okay, because I thought you said February.
No, I thought I said April.
Okay.
April, did I?
First,
Okay.
Did I? Oh, I'm sorry.
first pay-
April.
The first pay period is in April.
Okay.
You were right. I'm sorry. I stand
Oh, you're
corrected.
fine.
Okay. All right. The other is we have approved premium pay for the hours worked by the firefighter EMTs in the year 2020 that would be paid out of the American Rescue Plan. It was $1 per hour that they worked during the year of 2020. We are going to make that effective to employees that are current employees at the date that Tina issues the check, whenever that may be.
I'm going to work on that this week since
Okay,
we have the
well,
permanent budget.
Whenever that is, so anybody
If they're
that
not
is
here.
still an employee, when you issue the check, they will get the $1 an hour for the hours that they worked,
Okay, so
including
you-
road department.
So
in
you
the-
guys are going to give me a list, because
Yes.
I've never had a list.
Yes,
Okay.
we will give you the list and we will give you a list, and it'll be for the year of 2020, which is what it was dated at.
All right, that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, now we'll start our trustee reports. Mr. Huff?
Thing I had this week was I talked to Mr. Huff, Devin Huff from Ross Transportation, and also Tom Perry, the principal from Morgan School. And they were telling me about the signs that Rob put up out at the, in front of the school, and they're very pleased with them. They said they really think, they're not what they expected, they're way above that, not what they would have bought, but what they were expecting that we were gonna put out there. Anyway, they were very pleased with them. They said they seem to be working great. Devin went out during the school hours and watched the traffic several days, and he even went out at 3 o'clock in the morning when they was out looking at roads, I guess, and said that, during the traffic hours of when the schools were out, He said, a lot of brake lights come on when they saw that sign way up the road. He said, so it definitely was working as far as that was going. And the traffic seemed to slow down enough that maybe that, I didn't know if that helped the congestion any, but it definitely did help the traffic. So, well, they wanted to get, I think with you, Rob, didn't they, on a, how many cars were going through, blah, blah, blah.
I hope to get that sometime this week, but I need Chris Brucker's help on that.
Yeah, it is tracking, we just have to get the data off, and it'll tell during the times what the speeds were, and then we can look at the actual times of the restricted hours, the 20 mile an hour.
Yeah,
and
like you said, we
yeah.
can tell if it's
But-
working during the hours when we want it to work,
Right.
even
Right.
though we don't want them speeding through there anyway. I think what is the speed
And
limit through there anyway? Rob?
we can
35?
break that down, and
Yeah.
then it'll tell us how many cars were doing the speed limit of 20, how many cars were 5 mile an hour over, how many 10, how many 15, 20, up until I cut it off at 50 mile an hour. It won't keep track above 50.
Okay, but it also tell the school how many cars are coming through there during the school pickup and drop-off hours too.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, how
Because
heavy
it's
the traffic.
tracking all their radar, so they'll know how
That's
many.
probably an advantage to them too, knowing that, those numbers.
But they do realize that this is temporary. It's not a permanent solution.
yeah,
Okay.
Right, because,
That's because we have to move those around the township.
Yeah.
right.
And then if it warrants it, then we can further our discussion on flashing lights if,
When you do that, do you leave the post or you pull the post up each time?
I'll probably pull the post, I would think, because I don't know, there's no other reason to leave the post there. I normally put them on the same post as the speed limit sign,
Yeah.
but that's got all the school stuff on it, and they're, like, when you're going southbound, I'm sorry, I don't have my mic on, so. When you're going southbound, I couldn't put it where the sign is that says the school zone sign.
Yeah.
That's why I had to put it on a separate post, is there's not enough room on the post, and it was too low to the ground to do that, and it was behind a mailbox there, so that's why, because you gotta have that radar sign so high in the air to get a proper speed at a proper distance. If it's too low, you're right on top of it before it picks you up.
Gets a chance.
So by having it up higher, it picks you up further back, and that's in turn helping to slow them down when they get up to the actual school zone.
Yeah.
And same way coming southbound, I had to put a separate post to get it up higher to do the same thing, because if it's down too low, the cars are right on top of the sign before it picks them up and starts flashing. It still gets them, but just doesn't give them a chance to slow down because they get right on top of it before it picks them up, so.
I think what we need to do though is, can we find out if, what do those signs, do we have a price, what those, that type of sign would cost or wouldn't cost, or is that in our price range, or would
They
it be?
were about $7,500 when we purchased those signs 5 years ago.
Something like that.
A piece or both?
$7,500
$7,500 for both of them.
yeah.
For both of them, right?
for both of them. That was 5 years ago, we paid that much for them, so.
Okay.
No, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. When we
Yeah, yeah.
get the data. So,
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Holmes?
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to establish a board to administer the Morgan Township Walking Trail and Natural Area Development. The board composition will be comprised of 5 members, including the board president. An alternate member may be appointed to fill vacancies as required. The board charter is as follows. The board members of the Morgan Township Walking Trail and Natural Area Development will provide oversight and guidance of all phases of the project creation. The initial phases of development will include design conceptualization, RFP drafting and approval, bid advertising, vendor submission review, and contractor recommendation. As phases of the project are completed, the board president will coordinate progress or concerns with the trustee board liaison officer for updates and communication as needed. All issues, concerns, and decisions will be reviewed by the Morgan Township trustees during the monthly meetings open sessions. All legal concerns will be vetted through the Butler County Prosecutor's Office or Morgan Township Private Counsel as appropriate. Information for the board membership will be posted on the Township Facebook page and the Township website. And letters of interest will be accepted until and through March the 11th of 2022.
Second.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes,
Mr. Bruffer?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
that's all I have.
All right. The only thing I had, well, we already talked about the Butler County Township Seminar. I just want to put this out so it doesn't get forgotten. I want to keep us focused on our record retention policy review. We got to do that, and still search for off-site record storage. So I just want to keep that. I'm going to keep bringing it up every meeting just so we
I
keep
left a
it
message
in front
today
of
to,
us.
I left a message to the executive director of SWOCA. She called me back this afternoon, Donna, I don't know what her last name is, Donna, called me back this afternoon, said they were waiting on a vendor to get with them on one of the packages that they offer. I think it's the fiber or whatever out here. And they would have something back to me with package prices, including the data storage backup by the end of the week. I'm like, okay. So I
But
did.
do we still have to become a member of theirs?
Well, that's what I'm waiting for.
Okay.
She wouldn't say one way or another. And we do have another Miami Township from Claremont, and another company use this other company. We have their name too. So there's other folks we can contact.
All right.
So
I
yes.
just want to keep it out there.
But
so we
I
don't
did
forget
talk
it.
to her today. So.
Also, one of the recommendations from the auditor's office was to rent a safety deposit box.
We
And
need the whole vault.
no, for my needs. I'm just talking about the UAN backup.
Okay, so you're talking about the discs.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's another,
Okay.
The
choice,
quick
you know.
choice, the quick fix choice.
yeah.
All right, I just want to keep it out in front of us so we don't.
Their guy in the back wanted something, didn't
Oh, sure, come on up to the. Yeah.
I'm Tim Egbert, and I live up the road here. And do you have any estimate of what the park's gonna cost?
Preliminary, but nothing,
What's the preliminary?
nothing too firm.
Well, I
So we're gonna-
understand that.
We're gonna, we have different phases of construction.
Right.
That would, so when you put them all together, it's all like putting pieces of puzzles together until we see the RFPs that would come in and be presented. That gives us the best estimate, because we're not estimators, and as
Well-
far as concrete or blacktop was concerned, that would be.
Have you done any research?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And what kind of numbers are you seeing from that?
Well, we've had some estimates where some grading was approximately 40,000. Some blacktop was around 80,000. Some proposals for the total project was coming in at around 110 to 120. So it's just all over the ball field.
Well, I've got some research I did on the internet today, and this price is from 2015.
Uh-huh.
This was for a sidewalk, 200 feet long. Let me find my numbers here. 200 feet long, and I believe it was 3 inches thick, 4 feet wide. Okay, that's 200 feet. Comes up to 3,750 for that 200 feet. If you make it a mile long, that's 26.4 times 200. That, at 2015, was 99,000. So, just some numbers that I've
Is that
found.
Is that
concrete
concrete?
though?
Yeah, is that concrete?
That is asphalt.
Oh, asphalt,
Asphalt.
okay.
That is asphalt.
And that's a sidewalk?
That
in
is a
asphalt?
sidewalk.
I've never seen a sidewalk.
Well, I'm
in-
just-
in asphalt, but besides point, I
Industrial.
got your point.
Industrial.
Good point, yeah.
And I don't know, is there that much need for a park here? We've got Fernald, we've got Heritage, we've got Miami Trails. And
We don't
I
have
don't,
We don't have nothing.
do we have the density around here to support that? Do we need it? That is the thing. I mean,
Yeah,
Sure, you can throw money at anything, but do you need it? That's my question. What is,
Well, we've had a
I
lot
think
of-
we need to have
yeah.
a survey done in the township.
We've had a lot of interest already in people wanting to be part of it and using it. I was driving the other day. We have dogs, so I was walking our dog down the road. It's always dangerous to walk on the street with your dog, but I passed a lady that was walking her dog, and I thought, she's just like almost this close to getting run over by somebody that's coming past her. So I know we have a lot of people that are looking to exercise and looking to get out into the fresh air, and to give them a place to go is pretty important. I think that the quality of life is kind of what we're looking at, Tim, is to see
Well,
where we could go.
I understand. I've seen you walk your dogs. I know where you live.
Yeah.
And you're about halfway to Miami Whitewater when you're at home.
Yeah,
So
well-
why are you walking them on the road? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, another thing.
There's no place else to walk him. That's why.
Miami Whitewater?
Well,
I see people
I'm-
down there all the time with their
we're-
dogs.
We're working up to get that far, but so far I haven't not got enough to get him that far yet.
No, I mean, you put him in the car and you take him there and you walk him there.
Yeah, I'd like to put him in a car and
Because
bring him up here
if you
and
bring him
walk
up here, you're gonna
That'd-
put him in a car to walk
That'd be
him.
great, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something, you want to talk about money well spent. I lived here my whole life. I don't know anything up here that Morgan's really made for the people except MRA, and that's private, okay? The township, they can go out and, we can go out and spend, you know, $75,000, $80,000, $100,000 for a dump truck. It may last us 8, 10 years. You built a park out there, spend the same money, it'll last forever. People will have it forever.
And how much is it gonna cost to maintain every year? What's it gonna cost somebody to go out to pick up the trash?
We've already got people that mow our grass. Mowing grass and a walking park's about all you gotta do. What else you gotta do? Pick up litter, maybe, you know.
Well, Tim, we also have an opportunity to rent out some of the pavilion spaces out there.
How much
So
interest is there for that?
Laura, it's up in Hanover Township, they're almost fully booked on their areas that they rent out. So,
Okay, I'll check on that.
so, yeah.
I'll check you on it.
Yeah, Charlie Henry, I believe that's the name, or I can get you the right name, but Bruce Henry? Bruce Henry up in Hanover Township,
Okay,
and he'll give you some good numbers.
okay, appreciate it.
But I appreciate your interest too.
Yeah.
One thing too, we are going to search for grants other than using the ARP money because, you know, if we can get grants, we got one, Nature Works, that has $50,000 to $60,000 just for Butler County. Last year, no township applied for it. 50 to 60,000, that could come in. What we're trying to do is, you know, keep the American Rescue Plan money available because we got till 24 to allocate it, December of 2024 and December of 2026 to spend it. So I don't want to spend it all right now. So if we can get the fund, we finally got a process now to where we're going to get a board and we're going to do step by step. It came off a little wrong last meeting. That's why we regrouped tonight and got everybody on the same page. So we're going to be looking as we're creating the board, as we're writing up the RFP and all that kind of work that's going on behind the scenes. We're going to be pursuing grants that won't be coming out of our budget
Well, that's assuming you get grants.
if we get them, but we got to
Yeah.
apply for them. So,
Well, of course.
I mean, that's what we're doing, so we will have the money to pave a road if we have to. You know, if that grant that Susan was talking about tonight doesn't come through. You know, so there's a lot of moving parts here that we're trying to get them all lined
Well, I
up.
just wanted to let you know where I stand.
No, I
I think we
understand.
need to go slow on it.
Right, and I think we got on that page tonight.
Okay,
We got
thank you.
everybody on the same page.
Thanks.
All right, anything else? I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Brooker?
Yes,
Motion approved.
we are adjourned.